Welcome to Chile Expat Family. I'm Jim Dorchak. Today I am going to interview for you guys a friend who's moved here to Chile. He was a member of our group. His name's Joshua, and Joshua's from the United States. So I got a list of questions. I'm not really good at interviewing, so if I'm looking down here, that's what I'm doing. So Joshua, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, well, born and raised in the United States. Been in the contracting business pretty much my whole life. We decided, living the American typical dream, owning houses and running businesses. But a few years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, we started looking into traveling the world and seeing where we wanted to set up camp for our next portion of our lives.
How did you find us? The Chile Expat Family?
Yeah. So when we decided we wanted to check out Chile, the first thing you do is you put in Chile Expat. Because I had just gotten to know that term, expats. And
what does that mean? What does expat mean? Because a lot of our viewers always ask me that.
I think it stands for a short version of expatriate.
Yes.
So a patriot you would consider who's hardcore, dedicated to your country, right? In a sense of that they're never going to leave the country. And I think that when you leave the country, it was a term used to say an expatriated person, which I think is it involves a more broad.
It's not entirely valid.
Yeah, it's not really valid anymore. But
so after you found our YouTube channel, Chile Expat Family, what was your next step to contacting us? How did you get in touch with us? What was that process?
So that process was pretty simple, actually. I didn't contact you right away. I watched a few videos.
Lurker.
Yeah, lurking to see what you were all about.
Yeah, that's right.
If I wanted to reach out to you guys or not.
Yeah.
At the same time, when I reached out to you, I was on another expat forum.
Yeah.
I can't recall the name right now. It's a international forum, and each country has its own. Created by a woman, I can't remember her name either. And I had already started talking to a few people in Chile that were selling land.
Yeah.
I believe that once I saw one of your videos that you were explicitly selling property, because I wasn't really...
Yeah, it was one of my property sale videos. Yeah.
I think that's when I reached out to you in a sense of, oh, this is a good person to know.
But to be clear, my channel and my consultation group is not about selling real estate entirely. It's about, what did you find it to be about?
Yeah. So I was watching you before you even started the group chat. I saw the video where you pushed it. I'm a little reserved when it comes to that. So, you know, chat groups. I remember back in the day when the internet first started, what chat groups were.
The bulletin board.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of people put out personal information, and I just don't think it's a good way. But this is very centralized. I like the group that you have. The people in it are phenomenal. We all have a good laugh. We all have good topics that we talk about. And it's really dedicated to Chile, to people who want to move to Chile, who are interested in Chile.
Right. They're like-minded in that they want to move to Chile, I think. But from a perspective of who are they, they're from all over the world. Singapore, all the way to England, a lot of them in Canada and the United States, and there's quite a few here too. France, Sweden, Norway. They're not particularly the same religion, or even the same politics, or even the same race. Some of them are no religion. So that's very interesting in our mix. How long have you been here now in Chile? I mean, give or take.
Give or take. So we officially are been here for 98 days or 100 days.
Yeah.
So we came right before the border shut.
Yeah.
So we arrived March 9th. And yeah, on March 9th we arrived here, so whatever how many days that is. But we just applied for our temporary residency right now too, so we're kind of...
How did you do that?
Well, because of your chat group.
Oh yeah.
There's a fellow person in there who's in it.
Marcelo Poblete, or is our attorney. Yeah.
Immigration attorney. I reached out to him, and I mean, just to go into the details of how beneficial the chat group are, really, is we've met We've met a few different people, had the same interests. Like you said, not everyone's atypical in there.
Right.
A few different interests. We have contacts for businesses, other real estate agents.
Yeah.
The attorney is phenomenal to have because I reached out to him, and I had personal
He sells real estate too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So you don't have to use me as your real estate agent. Is what I hope you found that out.
Correct. Yeah.
And because I don't want to work. It's hard work to find real estate for people here because it's all word of mouth. I think you've kind of seen that. So it pays to diversify your searches. So.
Correct.
So what have you been doing since you got here? It's winter right now.
Yeah,
You got here in late fall, basically.
I did get here late fall. I would say the past week has really been feeling winterish.
Yeah. We're outside in the rain,
Yeah.
getting ready to cook some lamb today for some other guests we got coming. But
So when we got here, we had the forced 10-day quarantine.
Yeah.
As soon as we got out of that, the region that we were in went into quarantine. So we really didn't get out much. We didn't have a vehicle.
yeah.
But once we got the vehicle, we decided to go a little bit further south and check out another city. So
Yeah.
we live closer to Puerto Varas, which is a little bit more touristy.
Yeah.
That is Campo-ish here. And really just checking out the places. We've been to a few national parks, we've been to some cities, we've been a few hours north to check out other cities,
Yeah.
just to see where we want to kind of go next.
How was your car buying experience? What did you find there?
Ooh, let's see.
Loaded question.
Yeah. In totality, I had a few other deals, and it seems here that some deals take a little longer. It's a little bit more wheeling and dealing, and the first two car deals I had kind of went sour. Mainly, I think it's because I couldn't really travel as much because we were in quarantines.
Was this a language problem for you? Or?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a language problem. Actually, they were both English people who...
Yeah,
one was an American.
But you speak Spanish, right?
I do speak Spanish, yeah. So it wasn't a language
You speak a lot better Spanish than I do. It's all fair.
Yeah. So I had to actually go... And there's a lot less cars in the south. So there's a lot more available. Right. And a lot more cars available in Santiago. So I ended up... Marcelo, the attorney, again, reached out and he said he could help me. And he helped me for a very minimal fee compared to anyone. I mean, in the United States, there's no lawyer that's going to help you buy a car and go do all the government.
He met you at the airport too, I think.
He did, yeah.
Just a really good guy that we found. His whole group has just been really great.
Yeah.
And buying cars right now in Chile because of the COVID has changed a lot of things. Right. Because the Chilean government has released a lot of funds to people that they didn't have access to before their retirement, like their Social Security. And a lot of people have taken those funds and they've gone and bought vehicles. So there's a shortage of vehicles here in Chile right now. So.
Yeah, and inflation, so it's kind of the prices are raising pretty quick.
How has the COVID changed things for you, and what's your perception of the COVID here compared to the USA, the former USA?
So when we left, it was pretty much similar aspects, you know, all the mandates, all the rules, all the lockdowns, and so forth and so on. In the area we were living in, which was southeast, and was pretty open in a sense, so if we compare Chile to where we were at now, it's like COVID doesn't even exist back in the United States where we're from. Here, there's still lockdowns. Now, the COVID in general changed our perspective, like I was mentioning to you before. We were going to kind of travel around the world in different countries. Yeah. And because of the COVID, because of lockdowns, we decided to go set up camp here in Chile and try it out because this was one of the countries we liked the most. So Chile actually was going to be kind of our last spot on the tour to settle down after a few years of traveling, but it became our first spot because of the issue of just being able to freely travel.
At this point, with all the lockdowns in Chile, would you rather be back in the USA right now or here?
That's a really difficult question because there's a I didn't move from the United States because of lockdowns or COVID or anything. generally, as a America freedom, you know, you want to be free. You don't want to be really told what to do.
Well, let's be fair. We both love the United States.
Absolutely.
I'm a veteran, and some of my viewers know that, some don't. And I honorably was discharged, and I served the U.S. with pride on submarines for 4 years. And I love the United States, but the problem is it just doesn't love me so much.
Yeah.
And so it's not that I hate the United States. For us, we were looking for an adventure. I didn't leave the United States because I hate the United States as much as I was looking for a change.
Correct. Yeah, and that's the same thing with us. Like I said, we wanted to travel. We were actually wanted to get around and do more traveling. I've been fortunate to travel a lot in my life in general, and I just wanted to show my kids around the world. So
where have you been in Chile? And what did you like? What did you like the best?
Yeah, so far we've really only been in the lakes region and the river region, a little bit in the region above that, Patagonia region, very short period of time, Villarrica. We really like that just because Villarrica city is really nice. Obviously when it's not during tourist season, right? So everyone keeps on telling us these cities are just going to be jam-packed during tourist season. And so we're kind of enjoying them now that they're a little bit slower paced. But I really like the South because of how green it is. So I don't mind the rain because for me, if you have water, you have life. You know, easy way of life.
How long have you been a member of the chat group? We talked about the channel, a little bit about the chat group, but what is the chat group? And how does that work?
Chat group is exactly what a chat group should be like, I feel. It's a high presence of active members in there. Obviously I don't know how you keep up with it sometimes.
I got a better that does it for me.
So between you and Laura, you guys really keep it up there. Some good moderators in there. But there's really people who are really interested in Chile.
They're asking genuine questions. I think that really drives the group is good questions. And one of the nice things is to get a new person into the group. And then they are asking questions that maybe have already been asked, but sometimes they haven't been asked, and people are like, wow, I never thought of that one. You know?
And I don't mind it because now I get to answer since I'm here in Chile.
Yeah, that's cool. I've seen you put videos up in the group, and people have loved the videos that he's put up because he's experiencing the things that we experienced almost 8 years ago. We've been here now, so it's really nice to get a different perspective and in that relation, and that's cool. Is it expensive to be a member of the group? What is that?
I don't think it's expensive for what you're getting out of it. I mean, for instance, let's just go back to when I first started. I think you started in 2019.
You were one of the first members. Like when I first started the group.
I think there was only like 15 members, and I think you're up to 40 something now, almost 50.
I'm 53 members.
53 members.
In Telegram is where we are. We started in WhatsApp, and everybody voted to get out of Big Brother and go down to Little Brother. So now we're in Telegram.
And it was all based on donations. We had a conversation. You talk to everybody before they go into the group, which I think is great.
Everybody has to pass my little interview. They think they're interviewing me sometimes, in all fairness, but I'm interviewing them too. So because we had people that didn't jihad with the group, and that's fine. We accept people as where they are, but when they become an issue, then it's an issue.
I think if I were to average my donations per month, I think it's like $35 or $40 a month or something like that.
And
I know there's some
very
people
appreciated too,
but it's really beneficial for us because think about, I wouldn't have be able to get in contact with Marcella if it weren't for your group. That's time and hassle on mine, talking to lawyers and immigration specialists that are here, and I'm probably, when you're going to look online, I'm not going to find Marcelo. I'm going to find the bigger guys, the bigger law firms.
Big prices.
And honestly, just that one basic, and thank you, Marcelo, for being the person who he is has made that chat group for me one of the most important things moving down to Chile was that chat group. And I would have met you guys when I came in. You were so gracious to actually pick us up from the airport and let us stay in your cabana when we first got here. I mean, that made a huge difference in totality with the way we felt welcomed in Chile. And everyone at the airport, everyone that's been here.
Are the Chilean people nice, or
Oh,
are
they're
they like
great.
Americans?
Yeah,
Or...
they're great. Actually, it depends on where in America, right? I mean,
That's right.
no offense to anyone who's from
Yeah,
New York.
we're South Americans here,
Yeah,
so.
I lived in New York. People are a little bit more, you know, have blindsiders on, and they're direct to the point. Certain parts of, like in Alabama, you're gonna get the most friendliest people in the country. Really, I think so.
Yeah.
Personally.
Hi, Jeremy.
And Teresa.
And Teresa too. We're in Alabama.
And you know, so it's a little bit of different here in Chile. The one thing that has stuck out is how family friendly they are. How much they put importance into families. How much they put importance into older people. I mean, I've even seen dedicated parking spots in almost every big shopping center or store that is handicapped and pregnant women. You know, I mean, you don't get that everywhere.
So, were you able to find answers to your specific questions, I guess, pretty quick in the group?
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know how to put this, but were they always beautiful answers? I mean,
No,
Chile is perfect, and
No.
I wear rose glasses,
No.
and you need to put some on, or did you get the facts, man?
We got the facts. I think so.
Yeah.
I also do my own due diligence. So
Yeah.
even when I had to deal with lawyers, or the lawyer Marcelo, I already knew most of the information because I did my own due diligence. And I would highly encourage anyone who's thinking of coming or going anywhere outside the United States to spend some time before you jump on a plane, unless you have time to come here and visit for a little bit and get to know, but still do your due diligence, read up. The
Well,
chat
that's
group
what the
was
group's
good.
for.
Yeah, it really was. If there's a question, there's an answer, and that answer then should lead you to.
And he speaks
final.
English too. Marcelo does.
Yes,
and
he
our
does.
other real estate agents do as well in the group. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's been really helpful, I think. The other members in the group.
Yeah.
Have you met any that have moved here so far?
Yeah, no, I have met them. Some of them moved right after me. Some of them have moved a little bit before me.
Yeah.
And so getting to talk to them and how they like it. I actually got to talk to other family members of yours as well that moved here with you.
Yeah.
And not too long ago.
Our son Samuel, and Samuel's married to a Chilena, so he has a very unique perspective, even from any other gringo moving here.
Yeah.
It's not typical. And you got to meet up with him and his wife in the north.
And I want to put this out here too. On top of the chat group, on top of the YouTube channel, for when you actually move here, not only do you get all those benefits, but Jim has a network of people, and those people have a network of people. So almost immediately when we came here, you get to know a few more people who might be from Canada, might be from the States, who might be from Australia, and they know people. So it was almost an immediate inflow of connections and getting to know people.
That's really important here. Chile is about who you know. It's old time networking. There's social media, and that's nice to go buy something from somebody. To actually get some trustworthy and honest information out of people, you have to network with them, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, so networking here has been great so far.
You have a unique perspective since you speak fluent Spanish. Have you had any problems communicating at all with the Chileans?
So, my background in Spanish is pretty much a lot of Latin countries, a lot of Central American and South American, Northern South American. So the fluency of Spanish has not been an issue to communicate.
Yeah.
But Chileans do have certain terminologies that they use that has not made sense to me, and so I'm still learning Chilean Spanish. Right. So it's a little different.
Okay. If you had to do it over again, what would you do different? And is there anything you would not have brought with you, or you would have brought with you?
If I were to do something different, would be get here sooner.
Yeah.
I felt like even if it was a year earlier, we would have been able to get a little bit more settled in because of the lockdowns that are happening right now. It is a little restrictive in a sense of not having to worry where you're driving, in a sense, right? Because you don't have a full permit. But just to get to know, I mean, now that we're here, we really like it. And you want to get to know more and more.
Yeah.
So we had been thinking about moving and starting our travels about 3 years ago. But, you know, I had financial obligations. I had a couple businesses that I was a partnership in. So it was a slow progress from once we decided to get out. So in theory, for us, everything kind of works out the way it's supposed to be. So that's the only thing I would change, is maybe get here a little earlier. But we're enjoying our time here.
Did you find, or have you found, what do you think about the business atmosphere here in Chile? For like, I want to go there and do something and make a living, and would you go work for somebody, or would you go open your own business? What do you think your chances are in Chile? Is there any opportunity here?
I think there's a tremendous amount of opportunity in almost every aspect. I can't even tell you how many times I've actually said no to work already.
Yeah.
Being here, and there's so many opportunities. Obviously, right now I could see a little bit of hesitancy, but it's like every time you have some kind of interaction with people, and even with Chileans who've been here all their life, when you talk to them about business opportunities, their eyes just light up. And they're just like,
they're kind of like in a fishbowl. They don't know about the things that you've already experienced, and when you're off, you know, make those things apparent to them. Sometimes it's a new world for them too. Yeah. So
culinary, construction, mechanics. I mean, you could go through the list. Farming, everything you could possibly think of. There's an opportunity,
and you could survive here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Things are a little more expensive. Some things are. Some things are extremely cheap, like healthcare.
Yeah.
For instance, Lori and I, you don't have national health care yet because you're not a resident yet, or even a temporary resident, but we are, and Lori Thomas and I, we pay 18,000 pesos a month. I'm going to say that's about, worst case, $36, but it's probably $28 a month we pay for 100% coverage. And it's excellent health care is what I've found.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we actually have had some experiences already with the healthcare system here, and we had really good insurance back in the States, where we paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so at an average insurance, which I had before as well, you're paying here cash, or efectivo, what they call here, their pesos, for the full amount price, which would still only cost you your copay, or less than what your copay is in the States.
The whole enchilada.
Yeah. And you know, they're very clean here. They're very very helpful. And they're very friendly. I mean, we haven't had an issue with the system. The doctors that we've seen, and the nurses and other technicians that we've worked with have been very nice.
Well, it's winter here right now, and you're sitting in the background. We're underneath the big pavilion tent right now, getting ready for our cooking experience.
Yeah.
But
excited.
Has this winter thing changed your mind, being from the warmer climes I think you were?
We lived in, like I said, southeastern of the United States, so we got a lot of really hot times and a lot more warmer climates.
Yeah.
No. I'll explain to you why. We had mentally prepared ourselves for a lot worse than what this is.
Oh, okay.
And we've been able, like I said, when I was in the States, I traveled the United States a lot for work.
Yeah.
So I had been in, let's just call it like Toledo, Ohio, in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
And this is
you got to crack the ice off your tires to be able to move the car.
Yeah. If you don't slip and go unconscious on your way to the car. So I'm happy not having to dig snow. Yeah. Like I said, the rain and it just being green during winter is amazing.
There's some trees here behind us that are missing their leaves, but a majority of the trees keep their leaves all winter long here.
Yeah.
And that's really nice. And the grass stays green. It's not brown or gray here. So.
Yeah. So for us, that was our goal, was to make it through one winter and see if we like it. If not, you could still be in Chile. You just move up a little north.
Yeah, it's drier.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Almost last question. What are your plans? Are you going to stay, or you?
So we submitted our paperwork, or Marcelo did.
Yeah.
To the government here for our temporary residency.
Yeah.
So we are planning at least to live here for as long as they will give us a temporary residency for, which my understanding it could be whatever they decide, up to 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going for. We're looking for property now to purchase, and get out and really see the country and see where we want to be. So our plan is to stay for now.
Okay. Any final advice for people considering maybe moving to Chile?
Join your chat group.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Watch your videos.
Yeah. Ask questions.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've encouraged a lot of friends back in the States where we're from to join your group. Whether they have or haven't, I mean, that's their loss. But I personally feel that if there is an interest, even if it's slight, it's still worth to come in for the chat group for a short period of time. You know, you don't have to stay forever.
Yeah.
You could come in, see if you like it. There have been people that have come and gone for different interests and come back.
Yeah. There's people in there that are 5 years out.
Yeah.
And then we've had people that were 5 years out that came in less than 2 months.
Correct. Yeah.
So it really depends on what you want to do, and there's no pressure either way.
Yeah.
I like to think that the chat group provides a conduit for people to get information, and it also provides a conduit that wouldn't exist for networking. Because you can go to a consultation, other people, and they are helping you network like I think our chat group does with other people. So let's say you want to go look at 100 hectares here, which is double the land you need or double the price you need, but somebody else in the chat group could go in habbies with you and would be more than happy to cut that expense. You can produce something and be able to accomplish something you couldn't otherwise. There's also, I think, the potential for businesses there, and I think you've seen that with some of the other people here too.
I think you could find the people who will help you get here, like your chat group, but they're gonna want money, and that's their business.
Yeah.
You're very unique in the sense that I think you guys just have a sincere interest of really showing people what Chile's about and who want to come here. So it's more of like a friend, having a friend here, not having a business that is like a tourist business, because everyone will take your money and tell you they could get you whatever you want. But that's not how it is in the chat group, and it's a different system. Like I said, I've been around the world a few times.
I'm really big on not spoon feeding the people that are in our consultation or chat group. I want them to I want to give them the place to be able to get the information for them to feed themselves.
Correct.
Because it's counterproductive for me to continually spoon feed people. And when they first get here, I know they're shaking in their shoes. They're in a foreign country. Some have never left the U.S. And so I'm very aware of that because I was there myself, and there was no one here to help us settle in and figure out what we wanted to do. So because of that, I try to be really hands-on and drive people around and get them set up as best I can. And of course, we have the cabana we rent to people, and that can get a little heavy. Earlier, when you first got here, the cabana was rented, and you were staying in our guest room. We actually had 3 families here at one time, but
you know, it's like I said, if I could encourage anybody to do 2 things, is 1, do their own research in whatever interests them. Chile is a very long country, so there's a lot of different regions that for a lot of different
climates and different cultures in each one.
So, you know, if you really want to have your own vineyard, you probably want to be up a little bit north, right? If you like dry and being on the beach, you probably want to be a little north of Santiago. If you like to have land that constantly produces and is always, I feel like it's always green here, but it's down here in the south. I think it's a lot prettier down here, but I haven't been up north. I've just seen pictures, but from what I've seen so far, it's been beautiful.
Yeah.
I would highly encourage people to, like I said, do their own research and join your chat group.
Well,
I mean,
thank you.
I'm not getting paid for this, but I really want to express to people how beneficial it's really helped us. And
So you got good cost of value, you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I got the better part of the deal here.
Well, and Lori and I don't really treat it as a business. We look for it as helping people, but it became a point where it was such a burden for us that we had to charge something, and so and rather than come out and say, well, there's a monthly fee, I didn't like that, and I still don't like that. We decided to go with a donation-based thing, and we asked for people to donate on their honor, and they do. And some of them very generously, which is quite great for us because we're not rich. We don't live a high life here. But I like to tell people I'm a little chubby boy, so I'm well fed and I'm living okay on our little piece of property and our self-sufficient life here.
I think if there was a place to put your chat group, because there are other chat groups for other interests, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of those are donation based like yours are, but those are not as personable, right? It's not like your chat group is like a pre-consultant chat, right? So if you want a one-on-one, obviously they could arrange that with you and ask some questions, but you can really get the benefit of being in the chat group, and there's a lot more communication. The other ones that are solely based on a specific subject that you're donating it, usually the moderators come in, say something, and let all the other people talk to each other, and they just disappear, right? I've done this on financial, I've done this on mostly financial, I've done this on health, I've done this on a lot of other chat groups where you're at, and it's more like following these people, right?
Yeah.
And if they
I feel like I follow you guys in the group.
Exactly.
And that's why I let the questions be asked, and then I try to go get the answer.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, if I don't know the answer, I say I don't know the answer. I'll find out.
Correct.
So.
And we're all helping each other out, and hopefully I can help more out in the group now that
And
I'm
I really
here.
appreciate it too. I mean that is really a benefit to the group as well. And that's the whole point. I understand. Little final question here, that there's two subgroups of the main chat group, so people know. There's the property investment group, which is to allow people to be able to invest in a business in Chile, and they could maybe make some income. They might lose, it's just like Wall Street, maybe a little, hopefully better, but they're in control because they're the owners of the company.
Correct.
And then that company could give them an employment contract which would let them somewhat go around immigration to come straight into Chile more definitively and permanently. So that's one group, and that's been very stagnant, I think, right now. Lack of a better term, it's on hold because of the COVID and the borders locked down. I believe that'll come back when the borders open up. And then the other group we have is off-topics group. They talk about the fine nuances and differences between red tractors, blue tractors, green tractors, soil consistency, religion, everything that people like to yell at each other about. And that's why I put that group there, because I like the commonalities in the big group.
I really like the off topics because if I could just name one thing, I mean, there's a few farmers in the group, and
here too,
and and I've learned just on that off topic group, and hopefully I've been able to express some knowledge as well too on some other subjects, and it really just gets you a little bit more involved. I say it could overtake. It could be a lot if you allow it to, but if you just dedicate a few hours of the day, a few minutes of the day, just to look through it, read through it, it's pretty easy. I mean, you have apps on your phone now that could read you while you're driving. They could read you the text. The property investment one really was spearheaded by a few of the members, and I'm still very interested in that to help other people come down. because of there may be some new laws and regulations for getting your residency here.
Right.
That might take place. Who knows?
Well, they have a new constitution that they
Correct.
voted on that's being, the people that are going to be writing it are now in committee, and that's probably 2 years out.
Yeah.
That's one thing, and then right now the political atmosphere in Chile is with the COVID, and the Chileans are very, very subservient to Prince Fauci, Lord Fauci, but in the past 3 days, what's happened with that? You tell them.
Yeah, so a lot of political parties, as of last week, because they shut down the whole metropolitan region, which is Santiago, so almost 50% of the population live there. They just went into one quarantine. So a lot of the there's 4 parties that came on the news early this morning who are demanding the end to quarantines because it's been proven statistically by scientists, by psychiatrists, in other countries that it doesn't work. So I'm not saying I'm a scientist, but I read the research, and obviously these political leaders are as well too. So every country you go to, you're going to have political issues, right?
Yeah.
If we had a strong country that with their political ideology was a perfect solution, we would all be there. Right? So you really got to understand what your goal is. And I would say if you're running away from something, you're probably not going to make the best decisions. If you're moving into a new form of life, into a new way of life, you want something to be a little bit different, then I would encourage you to then look into Chile or look into another country that you might be interested in. The political issues are always going to be every country, everywhere you go.
Chile is not perfect.
No.
But I tell people that it's got a small government that doesn't have a lot of people to harass you, a lot of money to harass you. So we can live out here in relatively obscurity and do just fine. So. Well, look, I really appreciate. I think of you as a friend, to say the least, a good friend, family member, and we've loved having you. And Thomas has loved learning from you. Joshua has been teaching Thomas, who's behind the camera, how to build cabinets. This is not an exaggeration. He is an artist when it comes to wood. He's awesome with wood and construction, and I'm not. I kind of act like I know how to hammer a nail, and he's been teaching Thomas, and it's been great. They built a closet for us upstairs. It's beautiful, and I'm going to put a video up about that soon. But anyways, thank you for your time, and thank you for the interview.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
Ciao from Chile Expat Family.
Okay, no matter which direction, if I face the GoPro all the way over here, you can probably still see it. So, if you're texting, you can still see it.
You're texting?
He's texting, he can't spoke.
Well, he's looking at the...
No problem. We're cooking, so we don't have the meat on the grill yet. So
That's
you
like
get here, you get here.
40-something minutes of recording.
That's pretty good. Well, I'll shave it down a good bit.
And I'm also worried I'm putting some